Hey guys, I'm back. I made everybody a promise a long time ago for everyone that donates to the ministry, everyone that works with us, and everything else. That promise was to be completely transparent with you guys. Um, so far this year, we are 3 for 3 on rescues, and what I mean by that is not only did we get them out of the situation, but so far they have chosen to stay out and remain free rather than going back. Most people don't know this, but your average trafficking victim, your average girl you find on the street, that kind of thing, it usually takes 7 or 8 times before they actually leave for good. So for us to be where we are right now is a blessing. Now, I'll be honest with you. Due to lack of volunteers and stuff, we haven't been able to go out, on the weekends or Fridays or whatnot and hit the streets and actually minister to the girls that are walking on the streets like we usually do. We've been really relying on Jesus here lately to bring us and direct those who truly want to be free to us so we can actually get them out. And that has had a much higher success rate, which I'm happy about. And these girls are amazing and have given us really good intel and stuff to work on, names and everything else to actually do an investigation, which is good. However, there's trafficking rings that are local to us that also need to be investigated and shut down as well. And the only way that we get information on them is by ministering and building relationships with those girls that are still walking the streets. We have some information on groups like, the Crips and, the Bloods and some of the other gangs in the area, but we don't have enough actual data and names to be able to conduct a full and proper investigation, which is a bit of a bummer. And most people don't understand why we do this, and I'm not going to lie to you, we are different than most other trafficking rescue groups out there. We are very different. And the reason for that is most of them only operate as a QRF. For those who don't know what that is a quick reaction force, right? Basically, they get the phone call, so-and-so wants out, they rush to their side, get the girl out, put them in a halfway house or detox station or something like that, and then they're done. We don't do that. Now, we are and do operate as a quick reaction force when it's called on. And that does happen from time to time. But we also try to make it a point to see it through to the end. And the end for us is twofold. The end for us with the people that are rescued is we know that they are healed, are able to work and have a normal life, and that they are safe and able to live the life they deserve to live. The other way that we say that, okay, we're done, is once we've done our proper investigation and work with the people that we trust to work with to actually get these guys locked up and removed from the system completely. That is done for us. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, the last two that I told you guys about, we've had some complications. I'm not going to lie. And this is what happens when you're dealing with people that have severe trauma. One of the girls, we got her to safe house. She's starting the recovery program. But then she was having severe bouts of paranoia, I guess you would say. And it may be justified. I don't know. I wasn't there. But she was really getting very, very nervous, thinking the people that we got her away from were tracking her and knew where she was. How she came to that conclusion, I don't know. I don't know. We heard from her, and she had checked herself out of the restoration facility and went to the airport and had gotten local PD to pick her up from there and take her to another safe location, which has been very complicated. So we worked with our networks and our people to try and get her relocated somewhere that she felt is going to be secure and safe. We're doing good. We expect sometimes these things to happen, right? The other girl that we got out, I'll be completely upfront with you guys. We had around 3,200 roughly in donations. Every last bit of that has been spent on her. My travel expenses, airplane tickets, rental cars, food, clothes, and supplies for her because she was brave and walked away from everything. I mean, literally, I got there and all she did was grab a couple items of clothing, put them in a bag, and we left. She left everything behind. She is very, very brave. She really is. Speaking of which, this really wasn't the subject for this video, but it's too cool not to mention, because God was with us, was with me the entire trip. The entire trip. On my flight out to do the extraction, I was chilling on the airplane, listening to my music, and then all of a sudden my sixth sense started going haywire. I was picking up on something demonic. So immediately I went into prayer and I began asking God, what's going on here? And the Holy Spirit confirmed what I had already suspected. Attacks were being sent not just against me, but against the plane itself in an attempt to bring the plane down to try and kill me. The Coven was doing that. So I engaged them in spiritual warfare. Started praying against them, rebuking their curses and their hexes and coming against the demons they had sent. And I asked God to put fear of Him into them. Next thing I know, the Lord shows me exactly what He did. The Lord sent an archangel to appear directly before them. Most people don't know what an archangel actually looks like. Alright? Now, most of the archangels I've seen, and most of the angels I've seen a couple that were some of the more bizarre ones that were described in Scripture. But there also are angels that at least appear to us in a humanoid type appearance. But the archangels I've seen were like that, but they were radiant, had the flaming swords, but they also stood, rough guesstimate, 15, 16 feet tall, roughly. So that's what I thought was so amazing about this encounter when the Lord told me what he did. He had sent one of his archangels. An archangel appeared before them, uh, wielding his flaming sword, and told them that if they try to attack me again, he will return and they will die. So that was really cool. The second part that was really cool. When I landed, I had managed to get it worked out with our friends at Rescue America for there to be an Uber driver to pick me up and take me where I needed to go, because the rental car place was closed. Which I'm glad that they set that up, because otherwise I would have been walking. Now, I was expecting your typical Uber driver. You know, I was expecting someone to show up in a Nissan Maxima or Hyundai Sonata or something, Kia or something weird, right? But no, I wound up getting Uber Black. I don't know, I don't use Uber. But there was this older gentleman, retired, really cool guy, pulled up in this Mercedes. I can't remember which class it was, but it was like the AUG class, one of their sports car editions. And this nice four-door, really nice car. It's really cool. So I hopped in and gave him the address for the location where we were going. So we started heading that way, and started kind of joking with him. Really easy guy to talk to. He's really, really, really chill guy. Really cool. And I'm the type of person, I'm not secretive about what I'm doing. If someone's helping me out, even if it's someone that's been hired, I want them to know what we're doing. So they know to keep their head on a swivel, what we're looking out for, that kind of stuff. It's not fair for me to put someone in a dangerous situation without informing them of what's going on, right? So I told this guy, he asked what I was doing in town. I told him about the ministry, what we do, and I joked with him. I said, I bet you didn't think that you were going to help rescue a victim of human trafficking tonight, did you? And he said, is that what we're doing? I said, yeah. And he thought about it for a minute. He said, yeah, I didn't really have that on the agenda, did I? I said, no, but I appreciate your help. And like I said, he asked the normal questions, if there were people watching her and how dangerous it was and everything else. And I told him, I said, to my knowledge, there's nobody there. So it should be really simple. We get there, get her out, we leave. Which made him a bit comfortable. So we made it to the location, and we were trying to figure out how to continue the ride, because I didn't have Uber on my phone. I was relying on Rescue America to have that stuff set up, and I couldn't continue off that because I would have had to have their login information and everything else. So I downloaded Uber, and I was trying to get it set up to where he would be our extraction ride, so we could just wait there, we come out, and we leave. And we spent like 10 minutes on Uber trying to get this thing to work out, and it wouldn't do it. It kept trying to send other drivers to come and get us, and I'm like, we don't have time to wait. We got to get this done. So, like I told Chat, he said, look, tell you what, you go get her, we'll get out of here, and we'll swing by somewhere like an ATM or something. He said, all I ask is that you just pay me for this little trip, and we're good to go. He said, I'm not going to leave you here in a potentially dangerous spot waiting on another ride to get here that might not show up at all or might not show up for a half hour. And I told him, I said, dude, I agree. Let's do it. He was such a super solid guy. So I went in, got her, we got out, and he took off. The dude may be retired, but he drives like I do. It was actually really cool. So we got talking about the car and sports cars and stuff that I've built over the years and everything else. And he was a really, really solid guy. He really was. It was a blessing to have him be the driver for that night. I knew that God had arranged that, and he was the one looking out for us. And it was just really cool. It was really, really cool. And God has had his hand on this entire situation from the very beginning. Now, I mentioned complications. Okay, there have been some. But this is typical when you're extracting someone that has been ritually abused. We're talking severe, severe trauma to the point of causing dissociations, which leads to DID, dissociative identity disorder, multiple personalities, and that kind of stuff. Now, I was able to talk with her quite a bit and, help as much as I could, but you guys know I'm not a counselor. Never pretended to be, never will pretend to be, and there's a reason I don't do it. The reason I don't is because, one, I'm still in the healing process. And two, there are multiple contracts out on my life, not just by the covens, but by also other gangs and human traffickers as well. So when rescuing a trafficking victim, I can't do the counseling because there's always the possibility that they're going to have coven loyal alters, and some of them may be assassin personalities like what I was programmed to do, that could turn and try to take me out, and it would literally leave me with no choice but to either incapacitate them or kill them in an act of self-preservation. That's the reason why I can't do it. Fortunately, we have people that are much better than I am at counseling and much more qualified to do these things, that take care of this stuff, because my idea of counseling or a pep talk is the equivalent to a drill sergeant telling you to put down your bunny foo-foo, take off your diaper, put on your big boy pants, and get to work. And that is not the best type of counseling, especially for severe cases like this one was. So we've been really working with her and everything else, and even some of my parts, I actually felt comfortable coming out and speaking to her about the situation, what's going on, kind of filling her and her parts in on everything. And I think that helped her to trust me, which I hope she still does. I haven't been able to speak to her because I've been having some issues with some of my parts, and I genuinely don't want one of my parts to surface that could say something mean or hurtful that could hurt her. So that's the reason why I haven't been talking to her lately. That, and the Lord told me to place her on his altar and leave her there, that he was going to take care of things. So that's what I've done. But through the time I've spent with her and talking with her, and my parts talking with her and everything, one of my parts is actually healed in the process, which was really awesome. So sometimes with these cases, even if the worst would have happened and she would have had a runner personality or something that kicked in and she bolted, the important thing is me and my guys being obedient to the Lord, and if he tells us to go, we go. That's what's important. just like the people that have helped us and donated and everything else, when you seek the Lord and you're asking Him about giving or donating or how you can help, it's very important to listen to Him and be obedient to what He tells you to do as well. Speaking of which, I did have someone reach out to me via email that wanted to figure out how to work with the ministry and volunteer with us. I sent you a response. In case you're watching this, I did send you a response. Check your junk email. I don't know why this always happens. For some reason, every time I respond to someone, it goes in the junk email. And I would have texted you or whatnot, but I don't think you left me your phone number. I will double check. If you did, I'll shoot you a text message. But yeah, check your junk mail. It should have been sent from my personal email, which I want to say is jasonpillow2017 at outlook.com, I think. If not, it would be archangel22 at Proton Mail. So look through your junk email for those. But, you know, through everything that's happened, I mean, there were a couple of bridges that got burnt, and there were some disciplinary type actions that had to be taken with her. And I hate saying it like that. I really do. Because it sounds unfair. Or like she was being bad deliberately or something like that. And that's really not the case. It's severe trauma. You know, I don't blame her at all for anything that's happened. Because it could have been her parts that were covered in oil. There's a number of things, number of factors could have gone into it. But situation went from iffy to bad to worse. To the extent that that we were actually spending money that the ministry didn't have, you know, because the donation stopped right around $3,000. So it was money out of my pocket and my team's pocket to have her in a hotel, which she's still there right now, but it's not for long. Because Rescue America had a place that they really wanted to send her to. Originally, it was supposed to be around this time period, second week of April. They were supposed to do her application and get her moved in and all of that stuff. But, you know, so I was told to call back. They'll reopen the case and everything else. And when I did that, they said, "Oh, they moved it to May." I said, "Yeah, we don't have that kind of time to sit here and wait on you guys to keep kicking the can down the road. So we can't do that. If we do that, we're going to lose her because of the situation we're in." So the Lord actually opened up a door for me. Had one of our friends on Facebook and everything reach out to us and led us to an individual that has been rescuing and helping heal survivors of SRA for about 30 years. Really solid dude. I'm not going to name drop him here. Security purposes. Really solid. I've gotten to know him, you know, decent, you know, over the phone and whatnot, talking with him, and I know that the Lord lined this up. So the other day, there was supposed to be kind of a counseling session, phone call between him, one of my associates, James, and the girl. And, you know, they really wanted me to be there, and I explained to James the reason why I couldn't, same reason I gave you guys. And James is kind of worried about it. She has had problems due to some of her parts with some of our people. Again, I don't blame her for that. And I'm glad that she's trying to look out for herself the best way she knows how, and that she has parts that genuinely care about her and, you know, try to look out for her too, even if some of the stuff they do isn't entirely right or accurate. But they're still good because they genuinely care for her. It's such a rare case to meet another survivor that has parts that understand that they are parts and genuinely care about the person and just want to protect and help her. That's a rarity. That shows that her programming had been broken down pretty extensively, which was good. Which was really good. But he had contacted James and told James that the Holy Spirit was leading him to do the phone call with her by himself. James told me that. I'm like, okay, if that's what the Lord told him, then we're going to trust the Lord to do this, and we'll be praying for him. So we did. And then, next thing I know, I get a text from James telling me that the guy had called him, and the phone call with her had gone really, really good. I mean, really, really good. And that she was comfortable with him and seemed to really like him quite a bit. And that she wants to go to his program for healing. So, praise God, that is awesome. God came through again. So, what we're working on right now that I need help with, we need to raise funds for travel expenses to get her from where she's at to where he is and his team is. His rough estimate, of course, he was thinking, maybe paying someone to take time off work or whatnot to drive her. I don't see that working out. I think flying is probably going to be the much better option. And I'm going to try and get Rescue America, see if they'll actually help us out with that, since it's not the facility they wanted to send her to. But I'm at least going to try. If they'll help and at least cover the cost of her flights, that would help significantly. But his thinking was around $3,000 to cover, travel expenses and to have a bit extra to kind of help her get set up with him, clothes and stuff like that. Sorry, guys. So I'm gonna set the goal at 3,000, and bear in mind, guys, that this is because we are still footing the bill for hotel stuff. I have personally, between work that I've missed and personal finances that have gone into this, I've spent about $1,500 out of my own pocket so far. That's not counting what James and Renee and others have spent to help. And this is just stuff that you can't really foresee happening or coming. You kind of just have to take it as it comes. So we really need to raise this money because we've got to get her out of there and get her to his facility fast. She can't stay in that hotel. We've got to get her out. So if you guys can help us out, or you know people that are willing to donate, please, by all means, you guys know the deal. ArchangelMinistries91.com or GiveSendGo.com/ArchangelMinistries91. Either one of those is great, but we really, really need your help to get her to the facility that God has ordained for her to go to and get her the healing that she needs. So having said that, guys, I'm going to wrap this up, call it a night. God bless each and every one of you, and please keep us in your prayers, keep her in your prayers. Take it to the Lord in prayer about donations. We really appreciate it, guys. It's Archangel, signing out.